So I'll start with a song from Rochdale, from 150 years ago in Rochdale, about a fella called Tom Rindle, who is sitting in his house in the gathering gloom of a winter's evening, and him and his wife are both fed up of staring at each other, and he says, "I'll tell you what, lass, hand us me coat, fill the jug up, and I'll go and invite everybody round, and we'll have a marlock." Tommy Rindle loped for a chimney nook as winter sun were sinking. He said, "I'm tired of cowering here in smoke and wasting me time with thinking. It frets me heart, it racks me brow, it sets me head a stewing. A man as wouldn't do a foam and up and get a doing." So Mally rates me Sunday young for to run me bits of toes in, and on me jug up top of town, and let me poke me nose in. And Mally fill it up again, and don't they look so dawdly? There's no con lick a marlock when me brains are getting maudly. Us lay the rook and neighbour lads, I frisky counts and bowdens, and we'll ex and fotch their mums and dads, and we'll have it pranked wi' owdens, and lads and lassies them and sing, fruity leet and limber, and Robin Lilter and bring his merry bit of timber. And Joe will come, and Joan and Ben, and poor out limping Elijah, and Mally and Sally and Fan and Nan and curly-pated Bijah, and gentle Charlie is be there, and little Dick the Ringer, and Must and Sam I like to hear a snowy-headed singer. I spow me granny out at Nook, and I send for Dolly Weber, 'cause when her's readily done to Luke as grand as Queen of Sheba. And little Nell, her'll dance with me, our Nellie's young and bonny, and when I've had the dance with thee, I'll caper with me granny. Whoop! So Mally fill it up again, and don't they look so dawdly? There is no con lick a marlock when the brains are getting maudly. We're young and hearty to a croak, let's frisk it now or never. And so here's good health to country folk, and to country fun forever. Yep. I have with me not one of my accompanists or accomplices, but two, which is a very rare event, and I often work with one or t'other of them, and it's very rare that I can get them both together at the same time. But this is it's an unexpected bonus for you, and a sheer delight, I have to say, for me. So we're having out of a marlock up here ourselves. And we're going to do for you now the most successful song ever written in the Lancashire dialect, and I won't be surprised if you've never heard of it. It was written by a handloom weaver and village schoolmaster called Joseph Lees, who lived in Glodit, spelt Glodwick, near Oudham, that's spelt Oudham. And he wrote this song in 1805, poking gentle fun at all the young fellas who were coming down into Oudham out of Hills of Saddleworth to sign up to fight the French, even though they didn't know who the French were, and they didn't know where they were, and they didn't know what they looked like, but they knew that they needed fighting. They thought that the French were in Oudham, because that's where you had to go to sign up. So he called the song John of Grimfield's Ramble to Oudham, John of Greenfield's Ramble into Oudham, and it proved massively successful. And also, partway through the song, he has a gentle dig at the old folk of Greenfield, who were saying to these young lads, "Hey, if I were there, I wouldn't go all the way to Oudham, I'd stop in England." So here it goes to its original Georgian tune. Says John to his wife on an hot summer's day, I'm resolved digger in Filton longer to stay, and so ask out to Oudham as fast as I can. So it's fur they will grin Filton, fur they will none, for a sod you ask me, a brave Oudham I see, and I'll step me a battle with French. Eh, John, says our Nan, and who bitterly cried, will to be one at foot, or else thou may'st to ride. Odds ends when shall ride either ass or a mule, or ass cower in filters black as thou jewel. Both lemming and starving, we never a farthing, it'll well either have any mon mad. I, John, say we come into Greenfield for dwell. We've had money a bear meal, I can very well tell. Bear meal, because I that I very well know. There's been 2 days this week as we've had nought at all, and I'm very near-sighted. If our ass abide it, I'll fate either Spanish or French. And then says, me nont Margaret, eh, John, that's so hot. I'd ne'er go to Oudham, but in England I'd stop. Hey, it matters not much, 'cause to Oudham must go. I''s ne'er clem to death, but somebody us know. Of us Frenchmen I find, I'm bound tell him me mind. I never known fate, him and run. And so I set off that brew, 'cause we're living took top. And I thought I'd reach Oudham, wherever I stopped. I be go mad stirred when I got into mumps. Me owl letting me on to mid looks full of stumps. But I very soon told 'em as I'm going told 'em to have me a battle with French. French are over there. I 18 west at Lewin and to Oudham I went, and I asked the recruit if they'd met up their tent. No, no, honest lad, 'cause he talked like a king. They come with me down street, and they I will bring to where if thou art willing, they must have a shilling become. I thought this were our news. And so they gave me to collect within measure your height. And if you get fight, they go on to that but they wait. And so I reach me, and I stretch me, and I never did flinch. Says mon, I believe that me lad to an inch. And I thought, this'll do, I'll have guineas enow, and it's Oudham, brave Oudham for me. So it's fair they will Greenfield to Sodger I'm made. I've got a new shoon and a rare nice cockade. Us fight for our England as a year as I can. Be they French, Dutch or Spanish, to me they're all one. And I'll make 'em to stir like a new started and I'll tell 'em from Oudham I'm come. Was the more anyway I set 2005 when that song was 200 years old. I set about collecting together all these lost versions of it throughout the 19th century, and I gathered them all together for a radio program, and we did it, and it's floated about on the internet somewhere, and we recorded it, and we brought it back to life this year, haven't we? Joy and I have brought it back to life this year and started performing it again. all 15 versions of the same song. It's a really thrilling, interesting concert. It is, yes. And poor old Joy plays that same tune through over 100 times in the evening. It's like... Anyway, that is our most famous street ballad. This is Lancashire's most celebrated Victorian parlour ballad, written by Edwin Waugh, Ned Waugh from Rochdale in 1856. It's called Come Home to the Childer and Me. And it's a song about a young wife who's at home. She's got all her housework done. She's got the tea ready. It's not on the table, but it's ready in the oven. And she's got the 2 children off to bed, but she can't settle them because they're crying. And she's crying too because he's not there. And she knows where he is. He's down at the pub. And so, against all the social protocols of the time, she gets his hat and coat and she goes down to the pub to appeal, it turns out successfully, to his better nature. This song changed everyone's perceptions of what the Lancashire dialect could be. Set to music by one P.J. Delavante. This is Come Home to the Childer and Me. I've just mended fire wi' a cob, out swaddle as bright the ocean. There's some nice bacon collops on top, and a quart of ale posset down. I've brought me top coat thus that all, for the rain's coming down very dry, and touchstones as white as new snow. Come on to the childer and me, and touchstones as white as new snow. Come on to the childer on me. When I put a little Sally to bed, her cried 'cause her feather weren't there, and I kissed little thing and I said, as that potcher a ribbon from her. And then I gave her a doll and some rags, and a nice little white cotton bow, and I kissed her again, but who said, as her wanted to kiss thee and all. And I kissed her again, but who said, as her wanted to kiss thee and all. And Dick too, I had such work with him, afore I could get him upstairs. I promised that pay him a drum, he said when he was saying his prayers. And then he looked in my face and he says, "Est boggart's taken out of me dad." And he cried till his een were quite red. He likes thee some well doth yon lad. And he cried till his een were quite red. He likes thee some well doth yon lad. Well, at long length Hoggy tumbled still, and I hearkened folks' feet as I went by. And then I ironed the clothes right well, and I hanged 'em on th' maiden to dry. And then I mended the stockings and shirt, and I sat down to knit in my chair. And I really did feel rather hurt, Man, I'm only when thou art there. I really did feel rather hurt. Man, I'm only when thou art there. I have a drum, I have a trumpet for Dick. I have a yard of blue ribbons for Sal. I've a book full of babs and a stick, and some baccy and pipes for myself. I've brought me some coffee and tea, and if they'll root in me pocket, they'll see as I have brought thou a new cap today. Lass, I allus bring summat for thee. I have brought thou a new cap today, lass, I allus bring summat for thee. God bless thee, me lass, I'm come one, and I'll kiss thee and childer all round. No matter wherever I roam, I am fain to get back to Tower Grand. I can do a crack or a glass, I can do a bit of a spree, but I have no greatly comfort, me lass, except wi yon children thee. I have no greatly comfort, me lass, except wi yon children thee. That's enough, Victoriana. We record all this stuff, me and fellow members of the Lancashire Society, we record all this stuff for posterity and to keep it from oblivion. And we do sell them. They're on that table over there. And we do sell recordings of all this nonsense. We sell them for £10 each, unless you're under 25. When you can have them for an out. So there'll be a short break now while everybody dashes home for the grandchildren, yeah. Come in, come and get one of these for now. And we are recording tonight you see there's a man there with a camera, and he's recording us tonight. So if you're here and you should be somewhere else, then you'll say, oh, she's in here, look what she heard. Swamming around with WI. So this was once one of the best known poems in Lancashire. Some of you may know some, one or two of you might even know all of this song written by Samuel Laycock in about 1862. At number 1 in Boughton's yard, me granny keeps a school. There isn't many scholars yet, there's not but 1 or 2. They set third woman's rather cross, well, it may be so. I know her should box me rarely once and her'd prove me ears and all. At number 2 lives Widder Burns away, she's close for folk. Her Billy, the only lad her has, gets jobs a whaling coke. They say she coverts with Sam and Ned's as lives at number 3, well I don't know, and I can't tell. It matters nought to me. At number 3, right facing Pump, Ned Grimshaw keeps a shop. He has Eccles cakes and gingerbread. He's Threatle beer and pop. He sells oat cakes and orders Ned, he hath both soft and hard. And everybody buys of him, as lives in Boughton's yard. And at number 4, Jack Blunderig lives. He goes to the mill and waves. And then at weekend, if he's time, he pows a bit and shaves. But then, he's badly off, he's Jack. He's rather lame, and then his wife had children very quick. There's up 9 or 10. And at number 5, I live myself without Susanna Grimes, but I don't like her very well. It turns me out at times. And when I'm in, there's no lights. I have to cover it dark. I can't pay me lodging brass. I'm always out of work. But at number 6, next door to us at t'other side of Spat, out Susie Collins sells small drink. But it's really always bad. And how it is as that's the case, well, I really cannot tell unless he makes it very sweet and then sups it over itself. At number 7, there's nobody lives. They left it yesterday. Bum Bailey's come. They marked their things. They took them all away. They took them in a donkey cart. I know now where they went. I reckon they've been taken and sold because they owed some rent. And at number 8, the Yorkshire folk. There's only man and wife. I think I've never seen nicer folk than these in all my life. You never hear them flowing out like lots of married folk. They always seem good-tempered like, and handy with a joke. And at number 9, Towd Cobbler lives, stout chap at men's were shoon. But he's getting very wake and done. He'll have to leave us soon. He reads his Bible every day and he sings just like a lark. They say he's practising for heaven. He's well done his work. But at number 10, James Boughton lives. He has nice as Starset Row. He's always plenty of summer tate and he's lots of brass and all. And when he rides or he walks about, he's dressed up very fine. But in Tafer's near to heaven, the stout lad at number 9. And at number 11, my uncle lives. I calls him Uncle Tom. He goes to concerts up and down. He plays a kettle drum. He bands the music and such things. He sings for take a pride, but then he makes as big a noise as he plays besides. And at number 12, at Theandert Row, Joe Stiggins deals in ale. He has 6penny and 4penny, dark coloured, and he's pale, but I never touch it, because I know it's ruined money about. I am the only chap as doesn't drink as lives about in his yard. And now I've done, I'll say goodbye and I'll leave you for a while. I know as I haven't told me tale in such a fuss-rate style, but if they're pleased, I'm satisfied, and ask for no rewards for telling who my neighbours is as lives in Boughton's yard. Now, I have with me tonight Joy and Julie, and the performers I said earlier on with me, they also make up half of a string quartet, which I occasionally do concerts with, and on Saturday night, absolutely nothing to do with me at all. You could have found them both in the first violins in Bolton's Albert Halls playing at a Tchaikovsky concert. So it would be remiss of me if we didn't give them the opportunity to stretch the strings a bit. So I'm going to give them a couple of minutes on their own to play, 4.5 minutes of, is it Bach or Mozart this? Bach, Telemann and Mozart. It's gone beyond my ken now. Joy Hunter and Julie Proctor. I seem to have spent quite a lot of time in Bury of late. I've been coming up here for quite a few years now, doing Lancashire Neats and calling dances at Cayley's. I was down the road in Greenmount, wasn't I, in a very busy little village hall, an old schoolroom, calling dances there, and I've been a couple of times to that magnificent Elizabethan hall in the centre of Bury with the U3As, and I had a very exciting afternoon with Bury Widders, which I'm still trying to recover from. And Joy and I made it onto the stage at Bury Met, didn't we? At a big concert and whatnot. But a couple of the most rewarding afternoons that we've had have been in a couple of restaurants in Epworth Grange and another one in Alexander's at the other end of town. And they've been really nice afternoons. And now I've ended up here, put out to Grassic Garden Centre. And so I brought you a poem written in Bury by a fella who was a village shopkeeper, a fella called Ben Woods, and he wrote this song about another shopkeeper, Bobby Grundy. In a pleasant village, Bobby lives and he keeps a general shop. In Thas, where he were born and raised, and where he means to stop. He sells all sorts of useful things, and he has a roaring trade. And if all goes well, for a couple of years, his fortune will be made. All villagers, they know Bobby well. He does all their wants supply with mate and clothes and ornaments, and out else they want to buy. You cannot mention many things as he doesn't have in stock. He can sell you either cloaks or shoon, a shirt, or a babby's frock. He has blanket sheets and pillow slips, bedstocks, quilts and ticks. He's got some stuff for killing rats and mice and combs for catching nits. He's got soap and candles, starch and blue, blacking and black lead, pins and needles, roasting tins and worsted, either white or red. He's got hairpins, buttons and castor oil, pills, tapes and sugar toffee, pepper, mustard, pickling spice, black puddings, tea and coffee. He's got pencils, ink and envelopes, best you can buy for money, and writing paper, pens and stamps and sealing wax and honey. He's got laces, braces and dolly tubs, loaf tins and degging cans and props and pegs and clotheslines and all sorts of different pots and pans. He's got loaves and cakes and lard and cheese and boiled or roasted ham and bloaters, pop and treacle beer, blackcurrant or else gooseberry jam. And he can serve you with a teapot too, made out of finest Britannia metal, top bars, fenders, fire irons, a sewing machine, or a kettle. He has pies and tarts and gingerbread and all sorts of coloured sweets. He can sell you some that has verses on, but they're especially for courting needs. He's got snuff and bacca, cigars and pipes, bodkins, thimbles, eyes and hooks, mops and brushes, three-legged stews, and little children's halfpenny books. His boxes of pictures and American clocks and Australia beef in tins and mutton, salmon and potted shrimps and porridge slices and ravelling pins. He's got knives and forks, wooden spoons, bags, baskets and linen thread, rice and sago, meal and flour and Irish bacon that's all home fed. He's got brick dust, pipe clay and rubbing stones and sand to throw on floors and doormats, hearth rugs, carpeting and oil for the lamps and for the air. He's got salt and soda, peas and beans, figs and dates and feather dusters, apples, pears and hothouse grapes as he's hanging down in great big clusters. He's got shirts and collars, ties and studs, praetors, aye, and pickled onions and Lancashire tales in threepenny books, and some of them are quite funny ones. He's got all sorts of brids and flower seeds, buckets, spades and garden rakes, gloves, parasols, umbrellas, sticking plasters and oat cakes. He's bats and balls, dancing dolls, pot lions and dogs' muzzles, feeding bottles and scented soap, penny whistles and Chinese puzzles. He's got drums and trumpets, gum and glue, tops and acrobatic monkeys, perambulators, walking sticks, marbles and performing donkeys. He's got some nice breastpins for smart lads and earrings for bonny lasses, purses, brooches, wedding rings, coal scuttles and looking glasses. He keeps a stock of useful herbs. There's hyssop, balm and thyme and many others I could name, but I just can't seem to make them rhyme. In fact, I think I've rhymed enough. And so now I'll make a stop, although I haven't mentioned everything there is in Bobby Grundy's shop. I shall now sing for you. I shall now become even less intelligible than I just have been. And I will sing for you Lancashire's oldest surviving complete dialect song. It turns out to be a 16th century comic song from Warrington. And it tells the tale of a fella called Gilbert Scott and his wife, Grace, and the horse, a mare called Parry, and an unknown man in a pub. Now, I will have to tell you what this is about before I sing it, otherwise I'll be talking to myself for the next 2.5 minutes. So one day, Grace sends Gilbert off to the fair in Warrington to sell this horse. And on his way into town, he meets a bloke in a pub. And this fella says, "Are to sell that horse?" And Gilbert says, "Aye." And this bloke says, "Well, I'll have it, I'll save you trouble, come and have a pint." So he buys him a pint, he gets him his dinner, he buys him an eel pie, and they have a thoroughly enjoyable afternoon together until it comes time for Gilbert to go. When this man says, "Well, I have no brass with me at present, but I'll be here next week, and I'll see you right then." And so garmless Gilbert goes home, bat horse and bat brass. His wife, Grace, from whom all Lancashire women are directly descended, reacts very badly. And she picks up various kitchen implements and she beats him about the head and shoulders with them. And she leaves him bleeding at the fireplace. And she puts on her best hat and coat and she goes to Warrington. And she waits. And she waits, it says in the song, she waits for 5 market days. Which means she is either very patient or more likely still very angry. Until one day, out at window, she sees this bloke riding down the street on Parry, her horse. So she dashes out into the road with her hat flying off and her coat flapping behind her. And she drags this fella off Parry's back and she sets about him in middle of the road. A crowd, as you would expect, gathers, even in Warrington. And Grace, by this time, has got her fingers in this man's throat. And she's just about to stop off his chimney when out of this crowd steps a fella called Randall Shea. And he knows Grace and he's able to calm her down. But what makes this song so very special to us students of the old Lancashire dialect is that cleverer men than me in Victorian times discovered that Randall Shea was real. And he was indeed Sir Thomas Butler's bailiff in Warrington between 1548 and 1550, which puts him in a position to resolve this situation on the streets of Warrington and gives us a very accurate date on this, our oldest song. So here, in all its 16th century splendour, is Warwick Fair. Best of luck. 1548, by the way, just to put it in context, is just after Henry VIII died. It's a rather long time ago. Come, all ye good gristle folks, and ye munts tarry, us tellin' Gilbert Scott Souten Smer Parry, he's Souten Smer Parry, at Warwick Fair, but whence to be paid, he knows not, I'm sure. And so off he go at one, and he Towton's wife, Grace, her up wi' her kipple, who sweat him o'er t' face, who picked him up till he found wi' a whack, he thought as it well he had broken his back. Hey thou who quoth he, if that levy more rise, asking an oatly wench in mid that lies. Now hundreds quoth who, but where doth he dwell? Well bid lecky quoth he, and the take and a tell. How you doing? I took him to be a good Christmas son. It spent tuppence on me whence it been done. Hey, he gave me a luncheon, a dentist snig pie, a bit on did it shake me mother's loving lie. And so Grace, who prompted her nieces and near when he went to Wednesday but tea, and dear well who stayed full 5 market days till Mum and her come to Randall Shays. Hey, and Grace, who were resting one day in her room and her spied them on riding the moor into town of Burns guzzler out. And who was a gloppant as out of the window of lake for the loppant. Oh, stompant who steered, and Dad steers who one ripped hat under its arm, and who wind when he gone, her headgear flew off, and so did her snood who stomped and who steered as if who'd been wooed. Up at the Randalls who ate, and who have up to the lech, and I found him on Tamer greatly to scratch. Hey, me good man, quoth who, Gilbert greets the reap merry, and begs us to send him out money for Parry. I ain't money, quoth he, that I can a spur. Well, been lucky, quoth he, and then I left the moor. Oh, proud and who trumpet him sham to be seen. Thou hangman, quoth who, as poo out the een. As make thee a something, as hold thee a groat, I'll either get money, or as poo out the throat. And between them, they made such a wearisome dinners to keep them to peace Randall Shed to come in. Come fine, Auntie Grace, come fine and down. What do you let a monkey or I in a wound be lucky, quoth he? But the laid so hard on, I think as this woman is quite spoiled, man. Come fine, Auntie Grace, come fine and down. There's that murder money with you one as a Grace greater money. And woman's who's gone, but there's kept herself, who's gin Gilbert's got none. So I was sitting in the casualty A&E department of Charlie Hospital, because I come from Charlie. And I'm sitting there late on one night, and these 2 policemen come in with this fella in between them, and he's beaten up this bloke, and all his shirt's ripped and everything, and he's all bruised and battered and bleeding. And I says to him, I said, "You're looking a bit of a rough way, lad." I said, "What's happened today?" I said, "Have these 2 done this to you?" He said, "No, I'm a burglar." I said, "Well, they've not beaten you up like this, surely, for being a burglar." He said, No. He said, "Dave, no, they're all right. They've saved me," he says. He said, "I got into this big house, middle at night," he said, "and I'm groping about in this big house." And he said, and all of a sudden there was this voice that said, "Jesus is watching you." He said, "Well, now till's moved." He said, so I carried on. He said, and then this voice come again. "Jesus is watching you." He said, so I struck a light, and there were a parrot. And I said, "Well, that thee, parrot?" And parrot says, "Aye. And Jesus is still watching you." I said, "Shut up, parrot." I said, Don't make a noise, you'll get me caught." And this parrot says, "My name isn't Parrot, my name is Moses." He said, and I burst out laughing, and I said, "Who calls a parrot Moses?" And he said, "It's the same people who call that Rottweiler Jesus." Behave. Anyway, we've got to the end of this, haven't we? We'll finish off with our party piece. This is our theme tune, more or less. Our folk. From the pen of Edwin Waugh, our finest Victorian dialect writer in Rochdale. This is believed to be a gallery of his family and friends. Edwin Waugh was a great lover of the fiddle, that merry bit of timber, as he called it. And so thank you very much for having us here, first of all, tonight. Thank you indeed for having us here. Thank you all for staying this long. It can't have been easy. Our Johnny gives his mind to books. Our Abram studies plants. He caps the jewel for moss and ferns and for growing polyants. For out about mechanicking, our Ned's the very lad. My Uncle Jamie roots in stars. It's enough to drive him mad. Our Alec keeps a badger shop and takes his Sunday school. Our Joseph's very blint, poor lad. Our Timothy's a fool. He's tried 3 different Max of Trades and always missed his tip. But then, he's prettiest whistler as ever got to lip. Our Matty helps me mother, and who sews and tents our Joe. At doing sums and such as that, me father licks them all. Our Charlie, well, there cannot be another pate like his. It's all crammed full with ancientries and Roman halfpennies. Our Tommy's tend to preaching. He's a topper at it too. But what's the use? Our Bill comes in and swears it winna do, so we have one that's striving all he can to haughty wicked men, and we have t'other making marlocks as converse a word again. Our Abel's youngster, next to Joe, me mother likes him best. Her gives him brass, a boonie shirt to keep him nicely dressed. He's getting in with quality. And when his clerking's done, it's always either cricketing or else shooting with a gun. But me Uncle Sam's a fiddler, and half fain could hear him play from set to sun until winter night has melted into day, 'cause, such glee, such tenderness, with every changing part. It's his heart that stirs his fiddle, and his fiddle stirs his heart. And when it touches trembling string, it knows it's out so well. It sounds as if an angel tried to tell what angels feel. And sometimes water in his ear, fun that's meant to flow, has hardly rolled away, afore it's blent with drops of woe. And so here's to John, and Ab, and Ned, and Matty, and our Joe, and me father, and me mother, and all t'other lads and all. I and thee too, oud music, you know. I wish long life to thee. Among this plays a fiddle wheel, should never ought to dee. Good night. Julie Proctor and Joy Hunter, thank you all very much.